Modern life feels like a chaotic whirlwind where focus has become a luxury. We get swept up in the vortex of overwhelming information, dazzling social media, and fleeting pleasures, forgetting the most important thing: ourselves. Welcome to Stoic Way with Alaric. If you don't prioritize yourself, who will do it for you? If you don't master your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you will forever be a puppet, controlled by the outside world. On the journey to true success, the world often only sees the moment the artist stands on a dazzling stage and their fingers glide effortlessly over the keys, leaving the audience in silent awe. But few see the hours that artists spent practicing tirelessly in a quiet room. No one witnesses the calluses on their fingertips, the moments of frustration wanting to quit, or the silent adjustments to each note. Success is like that. It doesn't demand a glamorous stage, but is the culmination of hours of silent labor, self-discipline, and the ability to focus on one's own path. As the great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid with regard to external things. Great achievements are not for those seeking momentary recognition, but for those patient enough to work in silence, focusing absolutely on their own path. In this video, with Alaric from Stoic Way, we will delve into how to prioritize yourself, build iron discipline, and turn your life into a masterpiece, forged from within. Let's begin. In the modern world, we are surrounded by an overwhelming amount of noise. It's not just physical sounds, but the endless stream of information from social media, sensational news, piling emails, and ceaseless notifications on our phones. How many times have you told yourself you'd just scroll TikTok or Instagram for a few minutes, only to suddenly realize hours have passed? How often have you sat down for an important task, only to be drawn into a captivating video a controversial post, or a sudden message? The truth is, distractions don't just steal time. They drain your energy, focus, and motivation to pursue your goals. We live in an era where concentration is a priceless asset. Yet, ironically, it's being subtly stolen by seemingly harmless things. People often think failure comes from a lack of ability or difficult circumstances. But sometimes, the real reason is distraction. Look at the story of Ethan, a man who craves success but gets lost for hours each day in the digital world. He wakes up intending to learn a new skill, but falls into an endless news stream. Opens his computer ready to work, but a social media notification pulls him into a meaningless debate. Day after day, Ethan feels busy. But looking back, he hasn't made any real progress. Ethan's story is not uncommon. It happens to all of us. We have aspirations and goals, but small, seemingly insignificant distractions silently steal our dreams bit by bit. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus has a quote that makes us pause. If someone were to hand over your body to any passerby, you would be furious. Yet you hand over your mind to anyone who comes along so they may abuse you, leaving it disturbed and troubled. Have you no shame in that? Epictetus's quote reflects a profound truth. We are quick to protect our bodies, but neglect to protect our minds. Every time you get drawn into pointless online arguments, let negative news affect your mood, or waste time on meaningless content, you are surrendering control over your own mind. Stoicism doesn't teach us to flee the world, but to master what enters our minds. If we don't filter what we consume, we will be easily swept away by unimportant matters. At that point, our lives will no longer be our own to control. This is the first and most crucial reason why you absolutely need to take control of your life. The third lesson on our journey to mastering life: the indispensable importance of discipline. and sacrifice. There is a powerful truth that Stoicism always emphasizes. True freedom does not lie in breaking free from all external constraints, but in the ability to fundamentally master oneself. Those who cannot control their desires, emotions, or easy habits will forever be slaves to their weaknesses and external circumstances. Epictetus, the great teacher of Stoicism, etched this truth: no man is free who is not master of himself. So, how do we master ourselves amidst countless temptations and pressures? The answer lies in training. Discipline, known in Stoicism as ascesis, is not punishment or restriction, but a powerful tool to forge your prohairesis, your faculty of choice and inner will. It helps you direct your actions according to reason and noble values, regardless of momentary emotions or external influences. Discipline is the foundation that helps you stay focused on your goals, persist on the path you've chosen, and remain unshaken by temptations or difficulties. Hand in hand with discipline is sacrifice. Many see sacrifice as a frightening loss. But in Stoicism, sacrifice is a conscious choice. A choice to let go of lesser things. Momentary pleasures, comfort, external validation. Things truly outside your control, in order to focus on and achieve greater values, inner growth, virtue, peace of mind, and meaningful long-term goals. You want to become stronger? You must sacrifice comfort. You want a brilliant career? You must give up unproductive habits. You want financial freedom? You must discipline impulsive spending. Sacrifice is not losing what you have, but letting go of what you should let go to gain what you truly want to become. Discipline and sacrifice help you overcome the biggest trap: dependence on momentary motivation. Motivation comes and goes. It changes with emotions and circumstances. But discipline does not. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Look at Michael Phelps, the Olympic swimming legend. Talent helped him start, but iron discipline took him to unprecedented heights. For over a decade, Phelps trained 365 days a year. Without exception, no excuses. When others rested, he was in the water, pushing his own limits. That's the Stoic lesson of ascesis. Relentless training, not just the body, but also the will and spirit, to master your responses to fatigue or temptation. Another core principle of Stoicism: act in silence. You don't need to boast about your hard work or show off the goals you're pursuing. Just stay persistent, maintain focus, work hard, and let the results speak for themselves. The weak seek external validation. They need praise to keep going. But the strong need only one thing: commitment to themselves. Working in silence is the highest expression of Stoic inner strength and self-respect. You focus on the process, what you do, what you can control, not the outcome. Recognition, achievement, what is outside control. And when you master the process, the results will naturally follow as an inevitable consequence. There is an obvious truth, yet not everyone truly understands it. Success does not come from good intentions or unrealistic dreams. It is the result of specific actions repeated with discipline over a long enough period. And to turn any goal into reality, a crucial principle that Stoicism always emphasizes is meticulous planning and absolute focus. Why do some people seem to accomplish so much within the same 24 hours that others waste? They don't have extra hours in a day or any other extraordinary abilities. The biggest difference lies in how they use their time. Time is something you cannot control, and external according to Stoicism. But how you organize and utilize it is entirely your choice. Your proheresis. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, if you don't have a consistent goal in life, you can't live it in a consistent way. A ship without a destination will forever drift on the sea, carried by waves and wind, never reaching any shore. A life without a plan is the same. Always busy, but never truly moving forward. What is your goal? To become a great writer, a successful entrepreneur, or simply a better version of yourself? Whatever it is, start with a simple principle. Do not let your time fall into the hands of others. Look at Haruki Murakami, one of the greatest novelists. When he decided to become a full-time writer, he established an extremely disciplined work routine. Waking up at 4 a.m. every day, writing continuously for 4 to 6 hours, afternoons for running or swimming, to maintain both physical and mental well-being, evenings reserved for reading and research. Repeating this cycle consistently for many years. It may sound simple, but it's precisely the persistent repetition of this schedule that created his classic works. He didn't wait for inspiration and external, but committed to the process, what's controllable. Not letting his time be distracted by externals. You don't need a rigid schedule like Murakami, but you need a plan clear enough, yet flexible enough to align with your goals. If you want to write a book, dedicate at least 1 hour a day to writing. No interruptions, no social media, no distractions. If you want to improve your English speaking skills, spend 30 minutes every morning practicing pronunciation, listening to podcasts, or talking to yourself. And if you're building a career, make sure your time isn't wasted on meaningless conversations or tasks that bring no real value. The most important thing isn't how much time you have, but whether you are focused enough to use that time effectively. There's an interesting paradox. The most disciplined people are actually the most free. Because when you control how you use your time, you are no longer burdened by procrastination, guilt, or external pressure. You have the power to choose your response to everything. Success doesn't come from what you do once, but from what you do every day. Take a moment today to review your schedule Are you using your time meaningfully? Or wasting it on things that add no value? Remember, everyone has 24 hours, but only those who know how to focus can turn time into achievement. In an era where everything can be measured, income, reputation, achievements, it's easy to forget that true value lies not in the destination, but in the journey itself. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said that before becoming someone, we must first define what we truly want and then take action to turn it into reality. This reminds us, it is the process of acting that matters most. Everyone desires success, a thriving career, a healthy body, a prosperous life. But how many people actually take the time to reflect on the process they are going through? If we only focus on results, we easily fall into disappointment when things don't come immediately. Sustainable success never happens in a single moment. It is built over time through perseverance, failures, and the lessons learned from them. You see a successful entrepreneur on a magazine cover, but you don't see the sleepless nights, the painful setbacks, or moments of self-doubt. You admire a great artist, but you don't witness the endless hours of practice, the rejections, or creative blocks they had to overcome. We often only see the peak of the mountain, overlooking the rugged path that led someone there. If you truly love your process, you won't need to wait until you reach the peak to feel happy. Every step, every effort holds its own value. And that is the core strength of Stoic thinking. A crucial truth many overlook. You are successful not because you achieve something external, but because you have become the person capable of achieving it. When you take time to train yourself, learn from failure, and stay committed to small daily goals, you are building essential Stoic qualities. Discipline, perseverance, adaptability in the face of challenges. These are the virtues, the only true good that Stoicism believes is entirely within your control. The process is where you forge these virtues, becoming a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. There's a simple but important truth. If you cannot find joy in the process, it will be difficult to maintain motivation long enough to achieve the desired outcome. The most successful people are not those who merely chase goals, but those who truly love what they do every day. Think of a writer. If they only care about publishing a best-selling book, they will quickly become discouraged. When facing difficulties, but if they love writing, love the creative process, sitting down to write each day will feel like a reward, not a task. And that is what helps them go further than anyone else. Stoic philosophy teaches that peace does not come from achieving something, but from how we live each day. If you can wake up every morning and feel satisfied with what you are doing, you have already succeeded. One of the biggest challenges in pursuing a long-term goal is the feeling of discouragement when results don't appear immediately. But Stoicism teaches us, instead of trying to control the outcome, which is outside us, focus on what we can control. Our process and our efforts. You cannot control whether others will recognize your achievements, but you can control that you work hard every day. You cannot guarantee that all your efforts will bring immediate success, but you can ensure that you stay persistent and do not give up. When you love the process, you also learn to manage your emotions, no longer controlled by expectations or comparisons. In today's noisy and chaotic life, there is a silent strength that few people recognize. It is solitude. Unlike the negative concept of loneliness that society often associates with it, solitude in Stoicism is not a state of emptiness or lack, but a state of stillness where you can return to yourself, detached from the external noise, to nourish and strengthen your inner resolve. According to Stoic philosophy, things we cannot control, the words of others, external circumstances, distractions, should not affect our calmness and determination. Seneca once offered a profound reminder. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Our worries and fears often stem from the thoughts and judgments assent in our minds rather than the events themselves. To minimize negative influences from the outside world, seeking and embracing solitude is not an act of escape, but a way to cultivate self-mastery, mastering our own judgments. The solitude that Stoicism encourages is not about avoiding society or living completely isolated. In fact, it is an active method to rejuvenate mental energy, returning to your deepest self, where you can face your thoughts, emotions, and goals without being influenced by external disturbances. It is a conscious choice, prohairesis, to create a quiet space where you can find your own path, free from the pressures and noise of the world. Imagine an artist, writer, or creator deeply immersed in their work. To reach peak focus, they need a quiet space, separated from everything. It is in that solitude, without distractions, that they can maximize creativity and produce profound works. So, why does solitude bring strength? Because while the outside world constantly influences us, temporarily detaching from those influences helps us maintain inner peace. Each of us has goals and great aspirations, which are not always easy to achieve. When caught up in the words and opinions of others, or unnecessary information, we can easily become distracted and lose direction. However, when we find solitude, we create space to focus on the most important things: our own values, true goals, and the path forward. Solitude is the key to regenerating energy and maintaining focus on personal goals. Remember that the solitude Stoicism values is not just external stillness, but a way to master emotions and thoughts. A vital lesson in maintaining mental clarity and spiritual strength. You cannot control everything that happens, but you can control how you respond. Solitude helps you do that because in the quiet, you find the inner strength to face any challenge undisturbed by externals? Can you temporarily withdraw from the noise to make time for personal growth? Can you work hard in silence without needing recognition or validation from others? Simply because you believe in your own abilities and goals? That is the true power of solitude. We have journeyed together through a profound exploration, uncovering precious gems from Stoic philosophy, from identifying and mastering distractions, understanding why we must seize control of our lives, to forging ourselves through discipline and sacrifice, learning the art of planning and maintaining focus, valuing the process over the outcome, and finding extraordinary strength in solitude. All these lessons point towards a single truth. True strength is never found externally, but resides within you. Success and true fulfillment, according to Stoicism, do not come from external praise or the recognition of the crowd, which are uncontrollable externals. They come from your persistence and commitment to your inner values and goals, the virtues you forge through each disciplined action, through focusing on the process, and through finding peace in solitude. When you work hard in silence, without needing external attention, you are building an unshakable fortress of inner strength that nothing can disturb. You are the master of your destiny by mastering yourself. From Stoicism, we learn that the power to change your life does not lie in controlling what happens to you, but in controlling how you react. By prioritizing yourself, cultivating discipline, and working in silence, you are performing the highest act of self-mastery. You are no longer a puppet of emotions or external events, but the architect, building your life, brick by brick, each day. This is the promise of Stoic Way with Alaric. When you master your inner world, the outer world will reflect that strength. What do you think about prioritizing yourself and committing to long-term goals by working in silence? share your thoughts in the comments below with the phrase, "Silence creates strength." This lets us know you're with us and inspires the community. If this video brought you value, don't forget to hit like, share it with those who need to hear it, and especially subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our next deep insights on Stoicism and the journey to mastering life. Thank you for listening and for being a part of this meaningful journey with us. Keep going on the path of self-development, continuously seeking and mastering deeper values from within. See you in the next videos on Stoic Way.